Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to show you guys how I edit my Instagram photos. I've had a few people ask how I do it and if I use a preset, so I thought I would sit down and just kind of show you how I edit all of my photos. I actually don't use a preset, I never have. I'm not really sure why, but I just kind of found a way that I really like to edit my photos, and I've stuck to it for probably like 2 years now. So if you look on my Instagram, I started with a really bright white theme probably like 3 years ago. I wanted like the whiter the background, the better. It was almost like a bluish tone. And I really liked that, but that was kind of right when I was getting into Instagram, and I mean, it didn't look bad, but now I'm just like not really into the super white background. But I just wanted to show you kind of how my Instagram looked probably like 3 years ago compared to now. And this is how I edit my photos now, which you can tell I just warmed them up a little bit. They're a little bit more natural and soft, and I don't like have like bright white in any of my photos. So this is how I've been editing my photos for probably like 2 years now. If you go back into my Instagram, you can kind of see like when I started changing the look of my photos. So this is how I'm going to show you, or this style is what I'm going to show you guys today, just because that is what I'm using right now and what I like the most. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to edit 2 photos. I did one like interior like home photo, just because I do take a lot of those, and one of just myself, so like a selfie. I thought it would be kind of interesting to show you both ways, because you do kind of have to alter for each photo. So I just thought I'd show you like 2 completely different photos. The 2 apps that I use to edit all of my photos are VSCO and Facetune. They're both free in the App Store, so you can go get those. So let's just open up VSCO. I'm gonna do the photo of myself first, so I'll bring that into the program. And I choose A6 for my filter. I feel like that's one of the biggest tips, is to find a filter that you like and stick with it. If you want a super cohesive Instagram look, kind of, you have to use the same filter, otherwise you will definitely tell that it just doesn't like go together. So I've been using A6 now for probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. So I'm going to click on that, and sometimes I play with like the strength of the filter. I don't always have it like full blast, but I kind of just like play around with it and kind of see what I like the best. I think I'm going to leave it around like 10-ish, so that looks good to me. Now going into the area where you can play with the exposure and the color of your photo. So I always use exposure, and I up it just a little bit just to brighten the photo. You don't want to overexpose, because that looks really bad. So I'm just going to do like the tiniest bit. I'm not even going to up it hardly any. So that looks good. I don't really play with the contrast that often. I kind of feel like that adds a little graininess to the photo. I don't really play with any of these. The one thing that I do play with, and I feel like is another big thing for your photos, is the white balance. So like I was talking earlier, probably like 3 years ago, I really liked like bright white photos, and in that case I would have taken my temperature and bring it to more of like the blue temperature, which makes it just like kind of obviously like icy blue, really white. And I'm just kind of showing you guys the difference, so you can tell that it gets really white, and then if you bring it up here, it gets more yellowy and golden. So I am into the more like golden look right now, so I'm gonna bring this up just a little, not a ton, because you don't want it to get like sepia tone like what was really cool when I was in high school. So I'm probably just gonna do probably 1 on that, and I don't mess with the green or the magenta. So that looks good to me, and that is really all that I do. It's very, very simple, and I think it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to save that out. So we're going to go into Facetune. So I have this image that I just edited into the program, and I basically only use 2 tools in here, but I do this for most of my photos. So I'll either use the smooth tool or the details tool. So we'll start with the smooth tool. So I'm going to zoom in to my face. Wow, here we go, we're really close. And I'll take the smooth tool and I'll just kind of touch my face. This is gonna be kind of hard to show you guys, but I just like lightly go over my face just to kind of smooth it out. If my hands are in the photo, I love to do that just because hands can be kind of ugly sometimes. So any of parts of my skin, I'll just like lightly smooth out. I don't like it to look like perfect because that's obviously not how people's skin looks in real life, but I do like to just kind of touch it up a little. And then another one that I love, this is probably my favorite part of this app, is the detail tool. So especially for my hair, so I'll zoom into my hair and this is the details, and I'll just run my finger along the edges of like my curls, and it really just like makes my hair kind of pop. So you can kind of see the difference if you look really closely, and I think it just looks really nice. I will go in and do my brows and my eyes. This again just like makes them pop, and then I'll touch my lips sometimes if I have lipstick on. Any jewelry that I have on, I like to touch a little bit with the details button just because I think it kind of helps that pop as well. So that is basically it, and that is how I would edit my like selfies or photos of like people. That is kind of how I do every photo. Like I said, there's definitely no like set like preset or anything, but I do use the A6 filter. That's a big one, and I just play with the exposure, and the temperature is another big one. So you want to have a warmer temperature, a little bit higher of exposure, and then A6 filter, and you'll be able to totally get this look. So let's move on to the house photo. Okay, so going back into VSCO, I'm going to upload the photo of my house. So I'm going to hit A6 again and then go in and up the exposure like that. And then basically just go right to white balance and up the temperature to maybe like here. And sometimes when I up the temperature, I'll go back in and even make the exposure a little higher. I feel like you can just kind of go back and forth until you feel it looks good. So I feel like that is pretty good. And yeah, there's really nothing else in this app that I'll use for this photo. So that is that, very easy. Okay, so we're gonna bring that photo into Facetune, which you're probably a little confused why I would bring a house photo into Facetune. But I'm gonna show you guys because I feel like this is a game changer, and I do it to literally all of my like interior photos. So this might not bother people, but it bothers me because I'm a little crazy. But things like lights on your ceiling or plugins on your wall, I feel like they just add like busyness to photos and they're not necessary. So I will zoom in to say this light above here, and I will go to the tool called Patch, and it's basically just a patch. So whatever you want to replace, so I don't like this light at all, so then I will use this tool and find a color that matches the ceiling super well, and now there is no more light on the wall, and I feel like it just makes the photo look so much cleaner and better. So that is basically the biggest thing that I use Facetune for, like interior shots. So I will go through and use the like details tool again, and just like any like this little clay hanging, I will touch a little bit. The textures on my pillow, I like to touch with the detail just to have those pop. Like this little pompous like wheat, I will touch a little bit. Even maybe like the tassels on my rug. I just feel like it makes the photo look a little bit more sharp, and the things that you want to like kind of pop, you can make pop. So yeah, that is basically what I do for in-house photos. And then I'll save those out and I will post them to Instagram. So like I said, I love both of those apps. It's very simple, like once you get the hang of it, and I feel like if you do it enough, it just comes kind of natural and you can have the eye for like the coloring and everything like that. So yeah, those are the two apps that I use to edit all of my photos, but I do use a couple more apps just to kind of manage my photos and for like Insta stories. So I just wanted to touch on those really quickly. The first one is Planoly. So what that helps me with is just kind of planning out my Instagram. I'm not a person that has like 50 photos in my back pocket like ready to go on Instagram. I kind of upload as I have them. So I'll sometimes have like 2 to 3 photos that I am ready to post, but it's nice to be able to open up the app, and most of these are all live on my Instagram, so you can kind of see these ones that we just edited, I added in, and you can play around with the positioning, so you can kind of see, does the like interior house shot look better next to the photo that is live on my Instagram, or does the more like close-up selfie look better? I know this might sound crazy to some people, but it's just like all about like having a cohesive Instagram, and I feel like this really helps me because you can see like what photos look best next to each other. So I definitely like the selfie next to the photo that I have live of the like photo. So it's just really nice to be able to like move them around, because obviously when you upload to Instagram, they're uploaded and there's nothing you can change. So that is one app that I do really like, and like I said, I don't have a ton of photos in like my backup. Some people I think probably have like 50 like ready to go, but I'm just like not that prepared. And anyways, it's just really nice to be able to like kind of see what they're gonna look like when they're uploaded. But the next one that I use is for my Insta stories. I use this a lot when I'm like announcing a new video or something like that. So the two that I use for that are Unfold, which I think is a pretty popular one, and then Template is the one that I'm using a lot right now. So we'll open up Template. Right away you can choose between story, feed, or gallery. So they'll size everything accordingly. So like I said, I use this a lot for my stories. So I'm gonna go in, and we have 2 photos today. I'm just gonna use the ones that we edited today, even though they're not gonna really go together because they're kind of like opposite photos. But just to show you guys kind of how this app works, you can choose any different template. Obviously you want to choose one with the number of photos you have. So we have 2 photos, so I'm just going to choose this one, which I do use. So you click on that, and then it just like brings up your camera roll, and you can choose the 2 photos that you like. Once it's in, you can adjust the photo where like you want it to be cropped and everything like that. Obviously, like I said, these photos are like not great together, but you guys get the point. So then that is what it would look like on your story, and I think it's super cute and fun, and there's so many different options on that app. So those are the apps that I use for most of my stories and stuff. Okay, and that is it. That is basically how I edit all of my Instagrams, plan out my Instagram, and also how I do my stories. So if you guys have any questions, leave a comment below. I love talking with you guys down there. And if you don't, I will see you guys in my next video. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will be back next Tuesday.